The Garfield Movie, not to be confused with Garfield the Movie, is finally out in theaters and it has changed the world forever. All wars have ended, world hunger has disappeared, and everyone is locking hands and singing Kumbaya. And when I watched the movie, it cured my depression and my parents got back together. But unfortunately, even masterpieces can have flaws. Nothing is ever perfect, and I do have quite a few gripes with this movie. But first, a question. Do you know who John is? You know, John Arbuckle? Because this movie sure doesn't. I swear he has like maybe 5 minutes of screen time at most. It could be more, but that's what it felt like. After Garfield gets kidnapped, John has very brief like 1 minute scenes throughout the movie, but they're only really there to remind you he exists. I was expecting this whole subplot of John continuously looking for Garfield, putting up missing posters everywhere, staying up all night searching for him, like really putting a lot of emphasis on his love for Garfield. But no, he just sits in his kitchen the whole time trying to call animal services. And if I remember correctly, Garfield never even once mentions John until he picks him up from the pound. You know, I would have really liked to see just a bit more emphasis on their relationship. The movie overall was also just kind of boring and not really that funny either. It's just your run-of-the-mill generic animated kids movie. In the middle of the movie, I was just wishing it could be over already. But now I feel like I should finally address the elephant in the room. Chris Pratt as Garfield. I don't like it at all. He never once tried changing his voice in any way, and it was so distracting. I never heard Garfield, I just heard Chris Pratt. At least with the Mario movie, he put on a slight accent, but here it's literally just his normal speaking voice. He was absolutely miscasted, and they only did it because his name puts butts in seats. But there is some stuff I liked about this movie. Mainly Garfield's dad. I really like his design and his carefree and chill attitude. And I can't really think of anything else that I really like that much. There were some jokes that made me laugh, but not a lot, and the animation is pretty standard. But there were a few moments where the animation became more stylized, and those were pretty cool. And the whole movie, I kept waiting for Nermal. The entire movie, I was like, where's Nermal? And at the very end, he makes like a 2-second cameo. I got so happy I started pogging and pointing at the screen like a fucking monkey. So is Garfield the movie? The Garfield movie rad or bad? Well, it's a movie that exists. It's definitely not the worst movie I've ever seen, but I wouldn't really call it good. It's just mediocre, and I have no interest in rewatching this movie anytime soon. Got some crazy Garfield head though.